Hello and happy Monday to all of you. I'm Simon from Sterling Coaching, and it's that time in the month when I continue the theme of having a cunning plan. And I today want to remind you of a couple of recommendations. Slight phrase there that you'll pick up on a moment, but also something that a really very successful businessman mentioned to me just a few months ago that I'd never really realised I want to share with you today when it comes to success and to planning. See you in a moment. Now, the thing I want to share with you is something that I've mentioned time and time again and has been at the core of being successful and having a successful plan. And that's the book by Verne, Harnish, Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. It's available on audio, hard copy, paperback, depending which countries you're in. But it really talks about the importance of having a written down plan and a strategic plan that is at the core of all of what you do. And I was talking to this new person that I met who was introduced as somebody really successful in business and wanted to share some business advice and some tips, a fellow Christian, and he directed me to a verse in the Old Testament Bible, Habakkuk chapter 2 verses 2 to 3. And AI created that lovely image there at the side that you can see. But it really talks about the key important things of the success and the need for a vision, for a plan, and then for patience. That's what I want to recommend today, because mastering the Rockefeller habits encompasses that having a vision, getting a plan, writing that plan down, and then having the patience and working through that plan. And that's been the ingredients of my success in my own businesses, but also in all of those that I work with as well. So let's unfold that a little bit more. Very often as business owners and also in our lives, we are looking at the long term through our eyes of out of focus, can't quite see, can't see it clearly, it feels too far away. But we need to create a vision that is as though we're looking through those telescopes, through those binoculars there, because we need the vision of where we want to be longer term, where we are going to be longer term. We need a clear vision of that now, one we can see and one that we can communicate to others. Then we need to write that vision down. What does that end plan look like? That Bible verse that I mentioned earlier on says here, let me write it here, make it plain on tablets. Now, they didn't have spreadsheets and pieces of paper in the day. So in those very early days, make it plain on tablets. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it cryptic. Make it plain. Now that's the one-page strategic plan, the full version that you can see in the center of the screen there. And whilst it's on one page, it's one quite big page. It's an A0 size sheet really, if you want to see it clearly. But the important thing I want to share with you is get that vision. Get it so you can see it. Get it so you can see the detail of it. Bring it close. Bring it personal. And then write it on tablets plainly. Write it so that somebody can read it. It also says here, so that a runner may read it. So that somebody who is going to take action on your plan, whether that's you, whether that's somebody else you're going to give this plan to, your plan needs to be so that somebody who is going to take action on it can actually read it. So we need the vision, we need the plan, and then we need to be patient. Okay, this is a plan that we're setting in the far future. We need to be patient. We need not to get distracted. We need to make our decisions against this plan. I've used Verne's one-page strategic plan for most of my business life, in my own businesses and in those of my clients. And we really meticulously make decisions against the plan and make those decisions patiently, knowingly, and with a whole concept that we are making decisions that help us achieve our plan, not move us away from it. So that's really, really important. We've got to take the time, we've got to be patient, we've got to let the plan and those early stages that we're going to map out perhaps differently, those steps, those actions, we need to let them unfold. We need to make sure that we're tracking our progress against those plans. Okay, and it says it speaks as of an end. Your plan, your cunning plan, has got to be something that is far off. It might be 3 years for you. It might be 10 years. When I first used Verne's plan, I did it 23 years ahead of where I was. So think about that. Get the vision, get it written down on plain tablets. And how ironic that we're now writing on a tablet every day, more or less. And then have patience to see the plan, make decisions against the plan, don't get distracted by other things, and work through that plan. So we've got to make sure that when we do this, when we are working to our cunning plan, which is the theme for this month, that we slow things down. Don't be rushed to write down that end vision. Jim Collins talks about in his book Great by Choice, that end game, those values, that end purpose, and those end goals that you want to achieve. For the most successful businesses in the world, like Apple and major airlines, etc., they change that end plan by less than 10% over 30 years. So we've got to be careful, we've got to be slow, we've got to be meticulous in how we get this vision really clear, then how we write that vision down and share it with people that are going to take those actions. And then we need to be slow in our thoughts and our decision making process and make all decisions, all tiny plans, all incremental plans against that big plan that we've set. This is not something that we should be rushing. It's something that we should do at a pace that suits us. So slow for some people will be very different to slow to others. If you're flying fighter jets for a living, slow is probably going to be 10 times, 100 times the speed that I think is slow. But it's about just being conscious and doing it in a timely way. That's the most important thing that you've got to do. So if you grab a copy of Verne's book, The Rockefeller Habit, strongly recommend it. I also strongly recommend that you take a look, whether you're a Bible reader or not, but it's a very, very clear way of creating a plan in Habakkuk, which is an Old Testament book, chapter 2, verses 2 to 3. Take a read of both of these publications, both of these items that can be so instrumental in you creating a plan for your business, for your life, and also something that's going to have an impact on those around you. So please share this video wherever you're seeing it. If there's a tool that you've used, if there's something that you found in words that helps you do business planning, please share it in the comments below. I'm sure I and anybody else watching this video, wherever it is, will appreciate the value that you're sharing in your plans and the tools that you use in that as well. But the most important thing, don't forget, is plan from the vision, make it clear, make it so that somebody who's taking action can read it, and then be patient, work the plan, make your decisions against the plan, and have a read of those 2 publications that I've said. Hope you've enjoyed this Monday's Moment, and I will catch you next week for next week's Monday's Moment, or I will see you on the post during this week as well. Bye for now.